The night was unusually quiet at the remote research station on Earth's northernmost continent. The auroras danced in colors across the sky, painting ribbons of green and purple that reflected off the frozen landscape. Arya adjusted the collar of her thick jacket and glanced at the horizon, where faint lights flickered like distant stars. Kellen, her colleague and close friend, was busy calibrating a sensor array designed to detect unusual atmospheric activity. "I don't like it when it's too quiet," Arya said, pulling her scarf tighter. "It feels unnatural." Kellen looked up, wiping frost from his goggles. "It's just the auroras. They're beautiful tonight. Nothing to worry about." Well, but neither of them could know that nothing to worry about was about to change entirely. A sudden flash of light illuminated the station, so bright it made both of them shield their eyes. The ground trembled beneath them, and a low hum, unlike anything they had ever heard, filled the air. The sensors went wild, flashing warnings across Kellen's tablet. "What the?" Kellen exclaimed. Before he could finish, a column of light enveloped them. Arya felt a strange pull, almost like the world was tilting. Her vision blurred, and the icy air disappeared, replaced by a warm, vibrating energy. Kellen grabbed her hand instinctively, but the pull was stronger than their strength, and then nothing. When they opened their eyes, they were no longer on Earth. They were inside a vast chamber of gleaming, silvery metal. The walls pulsed with soft lights, and strange symbols glowed faintly along the corridors. The air smelled faintly sweet, and a gentle hum resonated in their chests. Arya looked around, trying to comprehend the sight. "Where are we?" she whispered. Kellen's eyes scanned the room. "I don't know. This isn't any research station. Not on Earth, at least." As they cautiously moved forward, they noticed beings watching them. The creatures were tall, slender, with skin that shimmered like liquid metal. Their eyes were large, reflective, and intelligent. They didn't approach aggressively. Instead, they observed, tilting their heads as if curious. A soft, melodic voice echoed in their minds. It wasn't spoken aloud, yet Arya and Kellen understood it perfectly. "Welcome, travelers. Do not be afraid. You are safe." The clarity of the voice was astonishing. No language barriers. No confusion. Just understanding. Who are you?" Arya asked aloud, though she knew the beings could hear her thoughts. "We are the Thalorians," the voice answered. "We have observed your world for many cycles. You have been chosen for a mission critical to the balance of life beyond your planet." Kellen exchanged a glance with Arya. His heart raced. "Mission? What mission? Why us?" The Thalorian presence seemed to fill the chamber. Symbols shifted and sparkled as if dancing in response to their questions. "Your species possesses qualities rare in the universe," the voice explained. "Ingenuity, creativity, courage, and compassion. These qualities are needed to avert a catastrophe threatening a distant world. You have the chance to protect life far beyond your home." Arya swallowed hard, her mind struggling to process the enormity of the words. "A distant world?" "Yes," the Thalorians replied. "A planet called Vera. Its orbit is destabilizing. Its people cannot survive without intervention. You are key to helping them." Kellen ran a hand through his hair. "We're humans. We're not heroes. We barely survive our own problems." The voice hummed softly, almost like a sigh. "Heroism is not born of perfection. It is born of the will to act, to adapt, to face the unknown. You have that will. That is why you were chosen." Despite the reassurance, fear clung to them. The chamber seemed infinite, with corridors stretching in every direction. Panels glowed with alien writing. Doors opened and closed without anyone touching them. The humans felt like ants in a world far beyond comprehension. Arya took a deep breath. Okay. But how? How do we even begin?" "You will be prepared," the Thalorians answered. "First, you will learn. You will observe. You will be given the knowledge and tools necessary for your mission. Fear is natural, But do not let it stop you. Courage begins with understanding. At that moment, a gentle platform emerged from the floor. It glimmered with energy, almost inviting them to step forward. Tentatively, Arya placed her foot on it. The surface felt soft but firm, like a warm stone. Kellen followed. The platform lifted slowly, moving through a corridor where other Thalorians stood silently, watching. They were led to a vast hall where machines unlike anything on Earth floated in midair. Energy flowed through conduits that pulsed with life, and screens displayed planetary systems, glowing grids, and rotating celestial bodies. You will learn to navigate not just space, but the energies that sustain it, the Thalorian said. You will learn to work with tools that may seem impossible. But through your creativity and intuition, you will find solutions. Arya stepped closer to one of the devices. It shimmered as she touched it, responding to her presence. It reacts to me, she whispered. Yes, the Thalorians replied. You will find that much of our technology responds to thought, emotion, and intention. Your human mind is uniquely suited for this. Trust yourself. Kellen was more cautious, circling a floating globe that displayed a tiny blue and green planet. Is that Earth? He asked. Part of it, the Thalorian said. But focus is needed elsewhere. Vera is at risk. You will understand its dangers soon. Hours seemed to pass, though time felt different here. They were introduced to devices that manipulated energy, maps of star systems, and simulations of planetary conditions. Every lesson stretched their minds beyond familiar boundaries. They struggled, failed, and tried again. But the Thalorians never criticized. They encouraged. You will learn faster if you allow yourself to adapt, the voice said. Do not fear mistakes. They are the greatest teachers. Reasons. Aloud. Also. Aloud heavy S. At one point, Arya accidentally triggered a device that created a miniature storm within the chamber. Energy arcs danced across the floor, and Kellen jumped back in alarm. The Thalorians watched silently. Instead of reprimand, the voice said, Curiosity is a gift. Let it guide you, not frighten you. Control comes with understanding, and understanding comes with practice. Arya and Kellen exchanged a glance. They were beginning to realize that fear, while powerful, could be overcome. Every attempt, every error, brought new insight. Their human adaptability was already showing. Later, as they rested on a softly glowing bench, Arya asked, Do you think we can actually do this? Save a planet we've never even seen? Kellen looked at her, determination replacing fear in his eyes. I don't know. But if the Thalorians think we can, maybe we can. We have to try. The Thalorians seemed to sense their resolve. The air pulsed with approval. Courage will guide you. Knowledge will prepare you. And when the time comes, your choices will decide the fate of Vera. As the first part of their journey ended, Arya and Kellen felt a mix of awe, fear, and hope. They were no longer just scientists from Earth. They were chosen humans, standing at the edge of a mission that could change the fate of an entire world. Outside the observation windows, stars stretched across space in endless constellations. Somewhere far away, Vera waited. And two humans, small yet remarkable, would soon face challenges that no other beings in the galaxy had encountered. They didn't yet know the dangers, the puzzles, or the tests ahead. But they knew one thing. Whatever came next, humanity's courage and creativity would be their greatest weapons. And for the first time, Arya and Kellen felt a spark of destiny ignite in their hearts. The days in the Thalorian ship passed in a blur of light, sound, and learning. For Arya and Kellen, every hour brought something new, something beyond their imagination. The chamber that had first overwhelmed them was now a classroom, a training ground, and a lab all in one. Every device, every holographic panel, every shimmering surface held lessons waiting to be discovered. At first, they felt small, almost insignificant. The Thalorians were unlike any life they had ever imagined. Tall, elegant, and impossibly intelligent, the aliens moved with a grace that seemed effortless. Their eyes, reflective pools of understanding, observed the humans constantly. Yet, instead of fear, Arya and Kellen began to feel curiosity. They wanted to understand, to learn, to prove that humans were capable. "You must remain calm." The Thalorians' melodic voice echoed in their minds as they stood before a floating energy matrix. "Control begins with clarity. Observe first, act second. Your intuition will guide you." Arya inhaled deeply, letting her fear settle like dust before a storm. She extended her hand toward the matrix. Light followed her movement, tracing her fingers as if the device recognized her presence. Slowly, patterns shifted and aligned. She gasped. "It's responding to me," she whispered. "Yes," the voice replied. "The human mind is unique. You perceive connections that others may not. Trust yourself." Arya, Kellen, standing beside her, tried to mimic her actions, but the matrix resisted. Energy arcs flared and pulsed around him. He stumbled back, startled. "Focus," the Thalorians advised. "Fear disrupts flow. Calm your mind. See. Do not think." Kellen closed his eyes and imagined the connections he had studied on Earth: circuits, networks, patterns in nature. Slowly, the energy arc stabilized, and the matrix responded to him as well. A smile spread across his face. "Human creativity and observation are your greatest tools," the Thalorians explained. "Technology is not just tools and machines. It is understanding made tangible, and your species excels at finding understanding in ways we cannot always predict." For the next several cycles, Arya and Kellen trained tirelessly. They learned to manipulate energy flows, to read alien symbols that conveyed not just language but emotion and logic, and to navigate holographic star maps with precision. They learned the basics of space travel, stellar mechanics, and planetary physics, but the lessons were more than science. They were lessons in thinking differently, seeing patterns in chaos, and trusting their instincts. Despite their progress, challenges were constant. One morning, Arya accidentally triggered a simulation, showing Vera's approaching disaster. The holographic planet trembled and cracked as a rogue star neared its orbit. Energy storms and tectonic shifts erupted across the surface. Arya's heart raced. "We have to fix it. But how?" she asked, panic creeping into her voice. "You are not there yet," the Thalorians replied. "Understanding comes before action. Observe the problem. Study its systems. The planet has solutions built within its own nature. Your task is to discover them." Kellen studied the simulation. "It's like a puzzle. Everything is connected, but in ways we've never seen before." Arya nodded. "We have to think like the planet itself." Over the next cycles, they learned Vera's systems. The planet was alive in a sense, its surface and core reacting to external energy. Ancient structures, built by its inhabitants long ago, were designed to balance its orbit and stabilize its climate. But the rogue star's influence disrupted these systems. Only precise manipulation could restore stability, and that required both human creativity and Thalorian technology. It was during this time that Arya and Kellen grew closer to the Thalorians. Though the aliens did not express emotion as humans do, the humans sensed respect and encouragement. Some Thalorians observed quietly, offering subtle guidance. Others demonstrated tasks with a grace that seemed effortless. One Thalorian, named Leora, became their primary guide. Leora had a shimmer to her skin that shifted with the light, and her eyes seemed to see beyond the physical world. She taught them to combine observation with intuition, to recognize the subtle vibrations of energy, and to approach problems not as obstacles but as opportunities. "You are not expected to fail," Leora said one cycle. "But you are expected to challenge yourselves. Only through challenge does understanding grow." Arya and Kellen began to take on tasks that tested both their intellect and courage. They navigated through simulations of volatile energy fields, recalibrated planetary energy grids, and solved puzzles that even some Thalorians approached with caution. Each success brought confidence. Each mistake brought insight, but the greatest test came unexpectedly. One day, while examining a complex energy grid simulation, alarms blared. A rival alien faction, the Zarathians, who sought to exploit Vera's instability, had infiltrated the training sector. Holographic warnings flashed red. "Stay calm," Leora advised. "This is your first real test. Solve the problem before panic takes hold." Arya and Kellen worked together, their minds racing against time. Arya analyzed energy flows, predicting points of failure. Kellen adjusted control nodes, rerouting power to stabilize the grid. Sparks flew, both figuratively and literally, as systems resisted. Yet, human creativity prevailed. With careful coordination, they restored stability just moments before the simulation would have collapsed entirely. The Thalorians observed in silence, then the melodic voice filled their minds. "Remarkable. Your species adapts in ways we cannot always predict. This is why you were chosen. You are capable of thinking beyond structure, beyond expectation. This is the strength of humanity." For the first time, Arya and Kellen felt a true sense of purpose. They were no longer simply students. They were participants in a mission that could save lives. And the realization brought a surge of courage. As they rested later in a quiet chamber, Kellen spoke first. "I never imagined humans could do this. I mean, us. We're just people." Arya smiled softly. "That's just it. We are people. Ordinary, imperfect. But that's what makes us special. We can adapt. We can create solutions when nothing seems possible. Maybe that's exactly what Vera needs." Their conversation was interrupted by Leora, who appeared in the chamber with a soft glow. "You are learning quickly," she said. "Soon, observation and simulation will not be enough. You will face the planet itself. Its systems are unpredictable. Its energy is alive. You must prepare to act in reality, not just in training." Arya and Kellen nodded. The gravity of the mission weighed on them, but fear was now tempered by knowledge and preparation. Over the next cycles, they practiced tirelessly. They learned to interface with alien machines using thought and intention, manipulate energy currents with precision, and analyze planetary systems intuitively. Their confidence grew alongside their skill. Kellen began to see patterns in chaos, predicting how planetary energy would shift in response to different interventions. Arya learned to sense subtle changes, to feel the flow of energy as if it were alive, guiding her actions with a quiet certainty. Together, they formed a partnership that balanced logic and intuition, strategy and creativity. Then, one quiet cycle, the Thalorians brought them before a viewing platform that overlooked Vera itself. The planet was beautiful, yet fragile. Oceans shimmered with blue and green light, and clouds swirled in graceful patterns. But cracks of instability marred its surface. The rogue star's pull was evident, threatening to tear the planet apart. "You will go there," the Thalorians said. "You will use what you have learned. Your creativity and courage will be tested as never before. Remember, you are not alone. We will guide you. But the choices you make will determine the survival of life on Vera." Arya and Kellen stared at the planet, understanding the enormity of their task. The weight of responsibility pressed on them, yet it was accompanied by a strange sense of determination. This was bigger than themselves, bigger than fear. This was a chance to prove what humans were capable of. Kellen clenched his fists. "We've trained for this. We can do it. We have to." Arya nodded. "Yes. For Vera. For its people. For ourselves." As the Thalorians guided them back to their quarters, the humans felt a spark of purpose ignite in their hearts. They had faced fear, embraced learning, and discovered the strength of their species. And now, the real challenge awaited. Traveling to Vera, understanding its living systems, and finding a way to stabilize a planet against a cosmic threat. The stakes were higher than anything they had faced before. But Arya and Kellen were ready. For the first time, they truly believed that humans, small, fragile, and imperfect, could make a difference in the universe. The hybrid human-Thalorian craft glided silently through space, cutting across the black velvet of the cosmos. Stars glittered like scattered diamonds, and distant nebulae painted streaks of color across the void. Arya and Kellen sat side by side in the control chamber, their eyes fixed on the holographic projection of Vera ahead. The planet was beautiful. Swirling blue oceans, green forests, and luminous cloud patterns created a picture of life in perfect balance. Yet, beneath the beauty lay a fragile truth. Vera was unstable. Its orbit wavered dangerously, and energy pulses rippled across the planet's surface in unpredictable patterns. Arya clenched her fists. It looks so alive, and yet so fragile. Oh, Kellen nodded, his eyes reflecting the holographic glow. It's more than just a planet. It's like it's breathing, moving, reacting to everything around it. We have to be careful. The Thalorians guided them through the last preparations. You have learned much, Leora said. Her voice hummed in their minds with calm authority. But what you face on Vera is not a simulation. Its energy is alive. It will test you. Observe, adapt, and trust your instincts. You are ready. The craft descended into Vera's atmosphere, piercing layers of clouds that shimmered with violet and gold light. The air inside the cabin vibrated with energy as planetary currents swept around them. Turbulence tossed the vessel, and warning lights flashed. Brace yourselves, Kellen said, gripping the seat handles. When the craft finally landed, Arya and Kellen stepped out onto solid ground. The surface was unlike anything on Earth. The soil pulsed faintly with energy, and small streams of glowing liquid ran across jagged rocks. The sky was tinted with colors that shifted with the planet's heartbeat. Every breath of air tingled with life. This is incredible, Arya whispered. It's beautiful, but dangerous. The Thalorians remained nearby, their presence reassuring yet subtly distant. Vera's energy flows are delicate, Leora explained. Intervene too quickly or too harshly, and the planet will reject you. Learn its rhythms. Work with them, not against them. Arya and Kellen began their first task, activating an ancient energy relay near the equator. The relay was a massive structure, carved from crystal-like materials that resonated with the planet's pulses. When they approached, the ground vibrated, responding to their presence. Kellen knelt and examined the control nodes. It's like a living machine. We can't just force it, we have to sync with it. Arya placed her hands on the crystalline surface. Warmth spread through her fingers, and the patterns of energy shifted beneath her touch. It wants harmony, she said softly. We just need to guide it. Working together, they coordinated their actions. Kellen adjusted energy flows, while Arya aligned the planetary pulses. The crystal structures hummed and glowed, responding to their combined efforts. Slowly, the relay activated, sending a stabilizing pulse across a portion of the planet. The success was encouraging, but it was only the beginning. As they moved to the next relay, they encountered a collapsed region of the planet's surface. Mountains had fractured, and glowing fissures radiated dangerous energy. The rogue star's influence had caused instability far greater than any simulation had shown. We need to be careful, Kellen warned. One wrong step, and the energy could backfire. Arya studied the fissures. If we redirect the energy through these channels, we can stabilize the core nearby, but it will take precise timing. They worked for hours, adjusting flows, rerouting energy, and coordinating with the Thalorian guides. Each pulse required careful calculation, intuition, and trust in each other. Arya noticed how Kellen's logical mind complemented her creative instincts. Where she sensed patterns, he structured solutions. Together, they were stronger than either could be alone. Midway through their mission, a sudden surge of energy erupted from a distant mountain. Vera's surface trembled violently. Rocks shifted, streams boiled, and the sky flashed with unnatural light. An energy backlash, Kellen shouted. We have to contain it, or the relay will fail. Arya's hands moved instinctively over the controls. She focused on the energy pulses, feeling their rhythm. Slowly, the surge responded to her touch, bending toward the stabilization nodes they had prepared. Kellen rerouted secondary flows, reinforcing the alignment. With a final coordinated effort, the surge subsided. The planet shivered once, then stabilized. Both humans exhaled in relief. You are learning quickly, Leora said. Human intuition and creativity are powerful tools. You see solutions where structured minds cannot. This is why you were chosen. Despite the praise, they could not linger. Veyra's instability was widespread, and the rogue star continued to approach. They moved deeper into the planet, to the central energy core, a massive crystalline formation that pulsed with living light. The core was the heart of Veyra, controlling its orbit, climate, and energy distribution. This is it, Arya whispered. If we can stabilize the core, we save the planet. Kellen studied the surrounding channels. It's complex. Too many variables to control with just technology. We have to think like the planet itself. They began the delicate task of syncing with the core. Arya focused on sensing the flows, feeling the energy as if it were an extension of herself. Kellen manipulated control nodes with precise timing, adjusting pulses in response to her guidance. The core responded slowly at first, then with growing stability. Hours passed like minutes. Sweat dripped from their brows. The sky above the core shimmered and crackled with energy. At times, the core resisted, throwing back pulses that forced them to start over. Yet, each failure taught them more. Each adjustment brought them closer. At one point, Kellen nearly lost control of a critical node. The energy surged dangerously, threatening to destabilize the core. Arya reacted instinctively, redirecting a pulse through a secondary channel, stabilizing the flow. You saved it, Kellen said, eyes wide. I thought we were done for. Arya smiled, exhausted but determined. We save each other. That's what humans do. Finally, after a series of precise adjustments and intuitive guidance, the core stabilized. Energy pulses became harmonious, radiating through Veyra in perfect balance. The planet shivered once, then seemed to breathe in relief. Mountains, forests, and oceans glowed with renewed vitality. The Thalorians observed silently, then spoke in unison. Remarkable. You have succeeded where others could not. Human ingenuity, courage, and intuition have restored Veyra. This is a testament to the strength of your species. Arya and Kellen looked at each other, exhausted but filled with pride. They had faced a living planet, guided its energy, and restored its balance. For the first time, they truly understood what it meant to be chosen not for power, but for human creativity, adaptability, and courage. Yet, even in victory, they sensed the planet's fragility. Veyra's systems were alive, and constant attention would be needed. They could not rest, but they had proven that humans, despite their small size and fragile bodies, could make a difference on a cosmic scale. As they prepared to return to the craft, Arya whispered, We did it. We actually did it. Kellen nodded, a tired smile on his face. And we'll keep doing it. Whatever comes next, we can handle it together. Above them, Veyra's sky shifted from chaotic pulses to gentle, rhythmic colors. The planet was alive, stable, and safe for now. Humanity had left its mark among the stars, not through strength or weapons, but through courage, creativity, and the willingness to adapt. For the first time, Arya and Kellen felt truly connected to the universe, not as small observers, but as active participants. They had faced fear, chaos, and uncertainty, and emerged victorious. And beyond the stars, other worlds watched, knowing that humans small, fragile, and unpredictable could rise to challenges no one else could. The real work was far from over. But for now, Arya and Kellen allowed themselves a moment of triumph. They had faced the heart of a living planet and proven that humanity could shine in the darkest corners of the universe. and as the Thalorian craft lifted from Vera's surface, carrying them back to the safety of the ship, the humans knew that their journey was only beginning. Vera was safe, but the universe was vast, and their courage and ingenuity would be needed again. Together, they looked toward the stars, ready for whatever lay ahead. The sun, or what passed for a sun on Vera, rose slowly over the horizon, casting soft golden light across the recovering planet. The energy grid stabilized, oceans glimmered, and the forests seemed to breathe once more. Yet, despite the calm, Arya and Kellen knew their work was not finished. The rogue star still lingered, threatening Vera's orbit, and one final act of courage and ingenuity was required to secure the planet permanently. Leora and the other Thalorians gathered with them, their tall, shimmering forms radiating calm authority. The final stage requires perfect synchronization, Leora explained. You must combine all that you have learned. This will test your mind, your courage, and your bond with one another. The planet's survival depends on it. Arya glanced at Kellen, her hands trembling slightly despite her resolve. We can do this. We have to. Kellen nodded. We've come this far. We know the patterns. We know what the planet needs. Let's finish this. They approached the central core once more, its crystalline surface glowing with pulsating light. Vera's heartbeat was stronger now, but the energy was uneven, and the rogue star's influence created instability that could still tear the planet apart. The challenge was enormous, but Arya and Kellen felt a strange calm, an understanding that humans, though small, could make a difference where no one else could. The Thalorians guided them to the final energy relay. You must act together, Leora instructed. Balance your focus. Synchronize your intentions. Only unity will allow the planet to stabilize completely. Arya and Kellen took their positions. Arya extended her hands over the core, sensing its rhythms, its pulses, its fragile harmonies. Kellen adjusted the energy conduits, aligning them with her guidance. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the core responded. Faintly at first, then with growing strength, energy ripples traveled across the planet, flowing into oceans, forests, and mountains, restoring balance. Suddenly, a massive energy surge erupted. The rogue star's influence collided with Vera's core, sending shockwaves across the surface. Rocks trembled, clouds twisted violently, and the planet shuddered under the pressure. We need to act fast, Kellen shouted, steadying a control node. Arya focused all her attention, feeling the pulse of the planet as if it were part of her own body. Follow my lead. Trust me. They worked in perfect synchronization, hands moving over controls and crystal conduits. Arya sensed the pathways of energy, predicting how it would flow and where it would surge. Kellen adjusted the channels, amplifying stability where necessary, and redirecting chaotic pulses into safe conduits. The planet shook violently again, but Arya and Kellen did not falter. They trusted each other, trusted their instincts, and trusted the humanity that had carried them this far. Then, with a final coordinated effort, the surge subsided. Vera shivered once, a deep, resonant hum echoing across its surface. And then calm returned. The rogue star's influence was neutralized, absorbed, and redirected safely. The planet's orbit stabilized, its energy flows harmonized. For a moment, silence filled the chamber. Then, the Thalorian's melodic voice spoke, full of awe and approval. You have done it. Against overwhelming odds, your species has restored life, balance, and hope to this world. Humanity's courage, creativity, and intuition have succeeded where no one else could. Arya and Kellen looked at each other, exhaustion and relief written across their faces. They had done the impossible. They had faced a living planet, battled cosmic forces, and emerged victorious. And they had done it not with strength alone, but with ingenuity, teamwork, and the human spirit. Leora approached them, her shimmering form radiating warmth. You have proven that humans are remarkable, she said. Small, fragile, unpredictable, yet capable of extraordinary feats. You are proof that courage and creativity can alter the fate of worlds. Arya smiled, tears threatening to fall. We didn't do it alone. Vera's energy guided us. The Thalorians guided us. But yes, humanity, humans, we did our part, Kellen nodded. We adapted. We thought differently. We didn't give up. That's what it means to be human. The Thalorians observed in silence, then spoke again. You have learned quickly, and you have applied your lessons with wisdom. You will return to your world. But know this. Your species has potential beyond comprehension. Do not underestimate the power of your courage, your mind, and your heart. The hybrid craft lifted from Vera's surface, carrying Arya and Kellen back toward the safety of the Thalorian ship. Outside, the planet glowed with vibrant energy, fully stabilized. Its people who had watched the humans' efforts from a distance through the Thalorian sensors cheered silently in gratitude. Inside the ship, Arya and Kellen finally allowed themselves a moment of rest. We actually saved a planet, Arya whispered. Still in awe, Kellen chuckled softly. I still can't believe it. Us. Saving a planet. I mean, it feels unreal. Arya smiled, leaning back. But it's real. And it proves something important. Humans, we are small. Yes. But we can achieve greatness when we act with courage, creativity, and teamwork. The Thalorians entered the room, their presence gentle but commanding. Your mission is complete, Leora said. Vera is safe, and its people will thrive. You have shown what your species is capable of. Remember this lesson, for one day, your world may face challenges that require the same courage and ingenuity. As the craft traveled back toward Earth, Arya and Kellen reflected on everything they had experienced. The fear of abduction, the unknown challenges of the alien ship, the rigorous training, the dangerous mission they had faced it all and had come out stronger. They had discovered strengths they never knew they had and had proven that humans, though small and fragile, could rise to challenges no other species could. Do you think anyone on Earth will believe us? Kellen asked with a small smile. Arya laughed softly. Maybe not. But it doesn't matter. We know the truth. We've seen what humans are capable of. And that's what matters. One day, the universe will see it too. The Thalorians guided them safely to Earth, returning them to the very place they had been taken. The auroras danced across the northern sky, as if celebrating their return. Arya and Kellen stepped onto solid ground once more, hearts full of pride and wonder. Leora appeared one last time, her shimmering form reflecting the aurora. Go. Live. Share what you can. And remember the strength that lies within your species. Humanity has potential beyond the stars. Do not forget it. As the Thalorians departed, Arya and Kellen stood together, looking up at the night sky. Somewhere among the countless stars, Vera thrived. Safe because of two humans who dared to act. We did it, Arya said softly. Yes, Kellen replied. And this is just the beginning. The universe is big, but so are humans. In ways we've only begun to understand. For the first time, they felt a connection not only to Vera and the Thalorians but to all of humanity. They had faced fear, uncertainty, and impossible odds, and they had triumphed. The universe was vast, but humanity's courage, creativity, and spirit shone like a beacon among the stars. And as Arya and Kellen walked back toward their small research station, ready to resume life on Earth, they carried with them the knowledge that humans, though fragile, could achieve greatness, protect life, and leave a mark on the cosmos that no force could erase. The stars above seemed brighter that night, and somewhere, far beyond their sight, the people of Vera celebrated their saviors. Humanity had triumphed, not with weapons, not with dominance, but with courage, creativity, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Arya took Kellen's hand. Whatever comes next, we can handle it. Together, Kellen squeezed her hand gently. Yes, together. Humanity will always rise, no matter the challenge. And as they turned to face the horizon, the auroras shimmered with colors more vivid than ever before. The universe had witnessed humanity's triumph, and the promise of their courage shone brighter than any star.